We thought we had seen it all, from mass murders, psychopaths, hooligans, and serial killers to even presidents. Cops have been on a roll arresting people of all types, but have seen cases where they arrest FBI agents. Were they rightly arrested? And do wrongful arrests of law enforcement officials call for the arrest with heavier punishments? Join us as we check a look at bizarre cases where dumb decisions from cops take them to rather odd position. So why don't we just kick things off with a crossover story of an FBI agent who has been wrongfully jailed? In our first case, the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department detained a former FBI agent for no apparent reason. It was a bizarre and ridiculous incident. As it turned out, Roger Golubski, a former detective, had been falsely accused of assaulting two black women between 1998 and 2002. There have been 2 accusations, to be exact. The real question is, however, how did the Kansas City police force allow him to get away with it for so long? Roger Golubski's unsolved case was discovered by the FBI while it was looking into the Kansas City Police Department's behavior. The former detective had a history of sexually assaulting women over the course of his 35-year career as a police officer and had been trading drugs for information. Lamonte McIntyre, a young black man, was accused of committing a double homicide by Golubski during his time as a police officer. McIntyre was ultimately freed after serving 24 years in prison without proper cause as a result. Golubski was taken into custody by the FBI on suspicion of 6 counts of sexually assaulting 2 black women. He has since entered a not guilty plea. Despite the jury rejecting his lawyer's request for release on medical grounds, he was kept in custody for routine medical examination. Black woman Rhonda Tribute, whose corpse was discovered in 1998, was one of Golubski's informants. Her case remains unsolved despite the fact that the investigation was started but never finished. She died, and Golubski's involvement is now being called into question by many people. That is exactly what we are saying. Many civil rights advocates across the nation have praised the arrest of Golubski, but it also raises serious questions about police behavior and the abuse of their authority. According to Tricia Bullnell, the director of the Midwest Innocence Project, a full investigation into the abuses in Wyandotte County and systematic reforms are needed to ensure that no other police officers and public officials can continue to abuse their power. As more of Golubski's crimes were discovered, it became clear that the Kansas City Police Department needed significant restructuring. Several inquiries remain unanswered as a result of the FBI's inquiry into the department. Roger Golubski's arrest was long overdue, but it's worth noting that it was the FBI, not the Kansas City Police, who brought him to justice. Next up, with the arrest of 2 Drug Enforcement Administration officers by the FBI in Nassau County, Florida, the situation has unexpectedly turned around. The DEA, a law enforcement organization renowned for its aggressive efforts to combat the drug trade, has charged 2 officers with drug-related offenses. But the system's level of dysfunction clearly remains unclear. While selling drugs, including cocaine, that had been seized to willing customers, Sergeant James Hickox was captured with his hand in a cookie jar. His greed knew no bounds as he also combined drugs with other substances to make up the weight difference and kept parts for himself. In his bedroom closet, the FBI discovered 3 shoeboxes, each containing $100,000 in cash. They also discovered another $200,000 hidden in his garage. Hickox claimed that he borrowed the funds for his claim by partaking in his gambling habit when asked where the money came from. Hickox's actions have hurt the DEA's reputation and are obviously a breach of his obligations as a law enforcement officer. Joshua Erie, a highway inspector, had been covered in the same drugs that had to be seized, even going so far as to legally approve the prescription of 43 oxycodone pills. He purchased drugs from drug dealers. As if that weren't enough, while under the influence of drugs, he acquired a gun, due to the fact that he was trusted with the law rather than the law itself. Erie's actions were not only wrong, but also dangerous. The surprise arrest of these officers leaves the public wondering just how pervasive corruption is within law enforcement organizations Sheriff Bill Leeper expressed his dissatisfaction by saying, "I think we need to make sure law enforcement personnel who violate the law are held accountable. When I learned of the accusations, I was shocked, let down, repulsed, and beyond angry. These incidents where the police ran into the FBI were some of the most shocking ones. We now look at our last and final case. A significant mishap that made headlines involved the case of mistaken identity between a Florida deputy and an FBI agent. When he received a call from a man claiming to be an FBI agent and asking to meet him in a nearby parking lot, Officer Gordon found himself in a precarious situation. This is a classic illustration of what can go wrong if a person doesn't confirm the identity of the person they're meeting, especially when speaking to a police officer. I do, but I don't understand what the problem is with your meeting me at the office. I'll talk to the U.S. Attorney's Office about it. Cut off the recording device now." "Okay, well, I will when I leave the area, sir." "Well, I will when I leave the area, sir." Asked the officer to turn off his recording device. Suspicions should have been aroused. However, Officer Gordon continued to record the conversation, a classic move. This was a wise decision as well, because it provided proof of what had happened, which, as you can probably guess, didn't turn out too well for Officer Gordon. Despite Agent Hatton's efforts to persuade Gordon that he was an FBI agent, the officer was skeptical and demanded to know how the agent obtained his phone number. Given the predicament the officer was in, it is not shocking that he requested assistance and handcuffed Agent Hatton. However, things started to spiral out of control. It got worse when Hatton shut the car door, especially considering how hot it was in Florida. It's fortunate that Agent Hatton's condition didn't worsen because Gordon made a bad choice in doing this. Concerns were raised by Officer Gordon regarding Agent Hatton's investigation into the actions of law enforcement agencies in North Florida. Agent Hatton's claims that he was an FBI agent may not have been taken seriously by the officer because he was aware of the widespread corruption within the police department and worried about being connected to it. Let's say his ego overcame him. The hour-long incident took place on December 20 in a parking lot off U.S. Highway 98 in the coastal fishing community, 45 miles southwest of Tallahassee. Due to the heat, Agent Hatton, who was shielded from the elements by a bulletproof vest and had limited access to air conditioning, started to experience health problems like nausea and suffocation. He, however, avoided a fatal situation by being taken to a nearby hospital where he received treatment for dehydration and heat exhaustion before being released. What do you think of our list? Do you think there are more corrupt officials out there? Sound off in the comments below. And while you are at it, make sure to hit subscribe and leave a like for more such content. Thanks for watching.
A succession of events took place in silence, revealing a network of deceit and criminality. Charlene, a member of the prison staff, started it all when she had an affair with an inmate. Charlene lost her job and could face legal consequences because federal law prohibits any sexual interactions between prison employees and inmates. A zero-tolerance policy against sexual assault in prisons was instituted after this occurrence.
Called our 911. Called her back, and she said then that he had a gun. They were asking them to leave. So I don't know anything since then.
Okay. So nobody here has been injured?
No, that's what I told him when I called. He told me that he was help.
At the same time, a frightening event took place in a residence. Authorities entered the building and found evidence of a fight in various locations. They found Kelly's motionless body in the kitchen, surrounded by evidence suggesting she had been murdered. The police had a quick and easy time zeroing in on William as their main suspect.
Which house?
This house right here.
Has
anybody confirmed?
We have not confirmed. We just pulled up, just got what she stated.
All right, has anybody been in?
No, we just pulled up.
He's saying you're saying he called you.
Yeah.
Can we get anybody to the door? Where is he at?
We're having a folks.
All right, but I want to make sure he's not in here with a gun.
Kelly was a paramedic in Columbus, Georgia, who often went out of her way to help those around her. Those that knew her admired her, but Kelly kept a secret from everyone.
His formidable threat was due in no small part to his vast experience in SWAT and police tactics. But then, something out of the ordinary happened. The police were notified of William's car accident by phone call. They hurried to the hospital and quickly located their bleeding and battered suspect there. After William was released, the official investigation began in an interrogation room. Violation of office and possible complicity in Kelly's death were among the charges that loomed. William was asked about two women, Becky and Kelly, during the interview.
The purpose of this interview is just to talk to you about the case that we're working on, former Sergeant Talley. We knew you had some type of relationship with him, whether it was a personal relationship, whether it was a friendship, or just as a co-worker. But we'll let you answer those questions. So we'll just start with just some brief questions about your knowledge about former Sergeant Talley. How long have you known him?
Oh man, ever since he's been here, several years.
Okay. Do you have any idea about how long he's been working here at the police department?
I really don't. I mean, off the top of my head, I imagine over 10 years. I would think, I don't know, probably 10, 12 years.
Okay.
I really don't know.
How long have you been working here?
28 years.
Kelly was his lover, but it later came out that William was married to another lady named Rebecca Talley. William's expression changed from one of bewilderment to one of evident anguish, yet his veracity remained in doubt. William's feelings bubbled to the surface as the investigator continued to pry. His anger seemed genuine to some extent, but there was also the sense that he was just using it as a ploy to shift blame away from himself and vent his discontent with his current situation. The tense interview ended when William finally got a lawyer. William Halley knew that the ins and outs of the police department, but he was still given a life sentence since the evidence against him was so strong.
Became a team leader, because at that point we'd always, if we had a mission, I'd always get with him and we would talk about the mission and get a game plan together, do our ops plan, and work that way.
It was a shock to all of us. I understand. It's a shock all the way around, man. Yeah, both sides. Both sides, believe me. It's like, how do you come to this place? I mean, and then trying to...
We're all human, man. And see all that crap on Facebook and trying to blame the police. This ain't got nothing to do with police. Ain't got nothing to do with anything. It's two human beings.
That's right.
Some people snap sometimes, no matter what their career is.
Oh, there you go.
They'll be flipping burgers, they're gonna snap the same way if you a cop, a judge, or whatever. Ain't got nothing to do with your career,
I agree.
The only lead that the police had was that he left the crime scene in Kelly's vehicle. They knew he had not only received police training, but SWAT as well, so he would be difficult to find.
The complexity and intensity of feelings involved in this case exemplified the determination of law enforcement to bring about justice. The case of Matthew Boynton is a disturbing tale of duplicity, intrigue, and suspected police misconduct. Unlike most police investigations, this one took an unexpected route that left everyone perplexed.
Arrested without incident and sent to the hospital.
12? Okay.
Sally, you know me, right, bud?
We're taking it no matter what, right?
With the bandit, yeah, remember? All right, brother. We're gonna take care of you now.
You ready for the handcuffs?
After William was cleared at the hospital, he was put into an interrogation room.
Hey, man. Want some water?
Sure. A cup of coffee? You sure? Well, we got a bottle of water here just in case you need it. Are you gonna be able to sit up for us? Okay. Back hurting you?
On April 15, 2016, officers discovered Jessica Boynton concealed in a closet with a gunshot wound to her head and a police-issued pistol in her hand. The county sheriff proclaimed her dead at the scene, but a medical evaluation at the hospital showed a completely different scenario. There were no gunshot wounds or bullets, only evidence of a blunt force attack to the back of her skull. Jessica's condition, while critical, did not support the sheriff's determination.
You know how long you been in the hospital?
Days.
Days. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm not your judge, man. Okay. I'm not your judge. But we brought you over here. Hopefully, we can get a better understanding of maybe what happened on Saturday, Sunday, and hopefully, we'll get your side of that, and you can kind of help shed some light on what happened out there. Okay. And maybe some of the events that might have led up to this. All right. But before we do that, we're gonna we got all your information written down here on advice for rights form. You got a bachelor's degree, right? All right. And so we're gonna evaluate your rights, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay.
Matthew Boynton, a key figure in this confusing case, emerged as a leading suspect. He stated he received a text message from Jessica indicating she was thinking about suicide. He contacted the police after hearing 2 gunshots from their residence. During the police interview, however, Matthew's discrepancies became apparent. When questioned about a bag containing Jessica's personal stuff, his dishonest actions became clear. Matthew's long and rambling response to a basic question concerning the bag indicated to the police that he was not telling the truth. The detectives had suspected him of hiding something before, but now they were convinced. This bag, which contained Jessica's clothes and was discovered in Matthew's possession, proved that he had lied under oath.
Read this bottom portion, and if you're able to, when I finish up, if you would just initial on these lines saying you understand, if you're able to, and then sign it for me. The bottom portion is a waiver of rights. Says, I have read or have had read to me the above rights, and I understand what my rights are. I am willing to make a statement and answer questions without having a lawyer present at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me.
Can I ask what my charges are?
Yeah, right now you're charged with murder. You're charged with violation of oath of office, and you're charged with possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime.
The bag theft may seem little, but exposed Matthew's credibility issue. Most of his information may be false if he lied about that. He resigned from the police after confessing to taking the bag and lying under oath. The assault on Jessica and that sad night went unresolved, darkening the case. Matthew was never charged with these major crimes, creating police corruption accusations. The county sheriff, his grandfather, had initially declared Jessica dead at the scene, raising his suspicions. The head trauma erased Jessica's memory, therefore the night's events are unknown. This story is a disturbing reminder of power abuse and unsolved questions.
Well, I can tell you who, if we can get started there. And it is Kelly. No! Don't do that. No! No! Tally, come on. Tally. Bill. Billy. No! No!
A small, poorly lit interrogation room was tense. Stephanie Eileen Lazarus, a former top detective, sat across from 2 others, anxious. This strange and unnerving dialogue took place in a chilly, calculated interrogation room. The detectives, aware of Stephanie's background, had deceived her into working on a confidential investigation. They promised her the interrogation room was the safest location to talk. Stephanie, plainly uneasy, fidgeted and looked around.
Bill, let me get you nasty soon. Bill. Bill, no. Stop, Bill. Relax. Bill, stop. Relax.
I'm not here to judge, man. Just stop. Just stop.
Here, you want some water? I think you need to have a sip of water. Relax.
Stop. It's all unnecessary, Bill. you don't want to talk to us, that's fine, but let's not do this, okay? Okay? Let's not do this, okay?
The 1986 murder of Sherry Rasmussen went unsolved for 23 years. Shot 3 times, Sherry was found dead at home. It was initially assumed to be a bungled burglary, but the inquiry failed. Due to her intricate love triangle with Sherry and John Rutten, Stephanie was a potential candidate based on fresh DNA evidence. The investigators approached John warily, sensing Stephanie's uneasiness. Stephanie's irritation was clear. Her breathing accelerated and she got defensive. She strongly denied murdering Sherry and demanded to know if she was suspected.
Oh, God.
Why keep it? Wow.
Billy, you don't want to talk to us? Are you aware that you have an attorney representing you or not?
Nobody's talking to me about anything.
Okay.
Stephanie hesitated when the competent detectives requested for a DNA sample, sensing the gravity of the issue. She considered legal representation. The investigators arrested her after gathering enough evidence during this tense conversation, despite her brief cooperation.
Who else did hurt?
Right now you're hurting yourself.
I don't care about me.
Well,
who else did I hurt?
There's no one else.
I keep hearing when people whisper, or whispers.
You keep hearing whispers? Okay, well, what whispering do you hear?
No, tell me the truth.
Okay, there's no one else hurt. Okay. Everybody else is okay.
Kelly's dead.
Yes. Bill, let's not do this.
Take me back to jail.
Take you back to jail.
Take me back to jail.
All right. Calm down. We'll take you back. Okay?
Hey, look, why don't you sit up and hold your head up so all that the rest of your head, okay? Sit up for me.
Okay.
Down. There you go. Sit up for me, man. Sit up. You got all that blood rushing down to your head. You know better than that, okay? Relax.
Months later, the courtroom would host this twisted drama's finale. Stephanie Lazarus was tried for murdering Sherry Rasmussen. The verdict was damning. First-degree murder. After 2 decades of hiding her guilt, Stephanie was sentenced to 27 years. The end of a famous investigator who had escaped justice for too long began with this weird and unsettling interrogation room showdown.